Hey everybody, it's Russ Reyes from Kilt Cork, and I want to welcome you to episode 4 of Kilt Cork Live. We got some really cool stuff to go over tonight, so I will wait for a couple more people to join, and we'll talk about some really cool stuff. Mostly, I'm excited because it's football season. Fall is a great time of year, and football season is here this weekend. It's totally exciting. We've got a great event to talk about here at the end of the show, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So what we're going to talk about tonight is a few things. I'm looking at my notes. Anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about our Fairplay trip this past weekend. We're going to recap that whole thing. We're also going to talk about some events that are coming up that I think everyone out there should really know about. It's pretty awesome. They're local. We're going to talk a little bit about something that came up this weekend about what our fans are and what we call our fans. So we'll kind of bring that up a little bit. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the people that I've kind of been interacting with here lately. So just stay tuned for all that. But again, my name is Russ from Kilt Cork, and you're watching Kilt Cork Live here on Facebook and on Instagram. Thank you guys for joining. So let's kind of just get right into it. First off, I want to give some shout outs and some thank yous to some people out there who have really been key in this first couple of months of Kilt Cork. So this is our 4th episode again. And we are just totally excited and blessed and so thankful to be where we're at after just 4 episodes. So to kind of just say big thank you, I really want to thank Debbie Torres McCarthy from About Town Deb. She was really key in something that happened just 2 days ago. And that is when we were thinking that it would be 5 episodes before we got to the 1,000 view mark on any of these Kilt Cork Lives. And I was texting her, I think like at 9:30 at night. And so she put it out there and Deb pushed it over. It was awesome. We went over 1,000 views within about 15 to 20 minutes. So that was really cool. So that episode that we just broadcast at Mraz Brewing Company in El Dorado Hills, I have to thank Mike Mraz for just bringing a nobody, he didn't know who I was really, into his brewery, into the tap room, and just making an excellent show. I apologize to everybody out there that the audio, we're still learning how to use our equipment here. So I think that we're going to get better as time goes by. But we were learning about this new mic, which I need to give a shout out to Barbara Valentine for hooking us up with this mic. She's a fan as well and a friend of mine, so we couldn't do that without her. But so we were setting it up at Mraz Brewing Company, and so as you know, last episode there was a little bit of an audio issue, but we're going to be back out there one of these days in the near future to do another broadcast so that the audio will be better and you can actually hear Mike talk about his amazing beers. And then finally, I really want to thank what we're going to call our #1 fan around here, and that is Stacy Carpenter, who she has just been so supportive and so kind and thoughtful and really just helped us get the word out. And so she is really one of the people I want to give a shout out to here on our 4th show, because she's been kind of key in this, getting the word out to everybody. And again, I think we're going to get her a t-shirt or something that says #1 fan, because that's kind of where she's at right now. So follow her at Wine Court Girls. That is where you can follow Stacy and all her girls that do these really cool clothing. You'll see it. We're going to have her on the show one of these days, how she makes clothes out of corks. You also need to follow Mike Mraz at Mraz Brewing Company. They are outstanding in El Dorado Hills. And of course, About Town Deb at About Town Deb on Facebook and Instagram. So with that, I'm going to segue into our Fairplay trip, which I'm drinking a Fairplay wine here. It wasn't one of the ones that we visited this weekend, but I'll give you a little history on it here in a second. That's pretty delicious there. I just found this actually, by the way. It was in my closet and I didn't even realize I had it. It's a 2009. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we were just in Fairplay this past weekend, and we were at the Zen Festival. So it was the first annual Fairplay Zen Festival. And it was really, really cool, at least from my perspective, to kind of interact with everybody out there and actually have fans come up to me and kind of recognize what we're doing. And it was great to hear that and to see that. and to be at the wineries. The wineries that we visited this weekend included Toogood, Charles B. Mitchell. We were out at Perry Creek. We were at Mediterranean. We stopped by Mellowood, and we spent some time with a new friend who's opening a new winery next year called Vinho. I hope I said that right. But it's exciting. It's going to be coming around next year. But Fairplay is really interesting, and it's kind of got a really interesting history in that it's a fairly new AVA. It kind of came around in 2001, and it's one of those AVAs where people kind of don't really understand it because they don't know about it. In fact, in January of this year, Mike Dunn from the Sacramento Bee wrote an article about Fairplay, and it was called Fairplay in El Dorado County is a Wine Secret on the Cusp of Discovery. And I thought that was interesting because people that live here in El Dorado County have known about Fairplay forever. And, some of the original wineries, if you include Sierra Vista, which is in Pleasant Valley, and then you've got Boger and Madronia up in Camino. But down there you had Latcham, you had Granite Springs, Charles B. Mitchell. These guys they've been around a long time, and so the fact that it was on the cusp of discovery is kind of funny because it's really not. It's right there for everyone to see. And in my opinion, Fairplay is going to be one of those places that in just a couple of years, it's going to be one of those AVAs that people are really talking about. Not that it's any better or superior to any of the other AVAs around here. The whole El Dorado AVA is amazing. So is Amador. They all have their uniqueness, and they all have something different to offer. But Fairplay in particular has experienced some growth in the last 2 years. That's pretty amazing with the new wineries that are going in down there. I think more so than most of the region in general. Just to name a few, you've got Element 79, who recently opened. You've got Sentivo, who recently opened E16. You've got Mediterranean. Mellowood just kind of reopened and is reinventing itself. There's just a lot of newness down there, and it's exciting. So I'm encouraging you to go to Fairplay. If you don't know where it is, Google it, or just Google one of the favorite wineries down there that you have, and you'll be able to find it. And you'll really enjoy your experience down in Fairplay and here in El Dorado County. So this wine that I'm drinking is from one of my favorites. I'll never tell you I have a favorite winery, just so you know, and including all my wine friends out there, because everyone's got a different take on even a varietal or a different take on the wines that they make. They all have their own styles. And I have a lot of different favorites. So I'll never tell you that I have one winery that's a favorite. You guys are all my favorites. I love you all. So this one in particular, though, my doppelganger works there. So everyone goes up to Jonathan Locke's at Cedarville and they say, wow, you look like Russ Reyes. And I'm actually making that up because it's the other way around. Actually, everywhere I go, it seems like in Fairplay, they come up to me and they start talking about this amazing wine that I make. And, my wife, Susan. So then I have to tell him, hold on, I'm sorry, but he's a great friend of mine, but I'm not Jonathan Locks. He's way more talented, especially in winemaking, than I am. So, but this is his wine. So my doppelganger made this, and it's got a cool name. It's called Turnabouts. So we were just talking about Fairplay, and he's a pretty clever guy. So it's Turnabouts from Fairplay. Turnabouts Fairplay. You guys get it? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, it's a great wine. It's 45% Grenache. It's 30% Syrah, and I think it's 25% Cab. So it's a really cool blend. And this one's a 2009. So I'm really happy. I found this bottle in the closet because it seems like it's laid down really well and it's delicious. So again, that's in Cedarville, and that is in Fairplay. So if you have never been down there, make it a point to get down there, check it out. There's a lot of cool things down there. And of course, Mediterranean just opened. We had a great time down there, and you'll see Fairplay in the news a lot more kind of coming up. So while we were down in Fairplay this weekend, we had some fun interactions with the fans coming up and talking to us and saying they saw us on the news. We were on Channel 13, I think on Sunday. And then before that, we were on Channel 10 about a week prior to that, wearing my kilt, of course. So it's really cool. I really encourage you guys to come up if you recognize me, because it just kind of validates what we're doing here. And it gives it some value that, you know what, people are watching, people are listening, and people are learning about this this incredible region that we're in. We're still looking to release the first episode of Wish You Were Here, which is going to be hopefully out in the next couple of weeks. Keep your fingers crossed. It's still in production. So got to get a hold of my guy and see where we're at on that. But I think you're really going to like it. It's going to show off this region pretty well and kind of what's going on here with some wine and some cool activities. But this show is kind of our cornerstone, I guess, if you will, because we're going to do this every week. And I'm hoping in the next few weeks to be able to put a schedule online so you can see where we're going to be broadcasting from. So if you're out there and you own a winery or brewery or restaurant or any other place that you think would be a cool venue to broadcast live from, we would love to do that and set up and come down there and just talk about what you're doing and talk about what's really cool in this region. So keep that in mind if you're out there and you want to be live. So anyways, back to the fans. So it occurred to me that the people who like the show, the people who are my friends, the people who are following us, they should have a name. And if you are watching this on your phone right now, you can't do this. But if you Google it, and you know what? My phone's being used too. I'll just kind of give you the gist of it. If you Google the word corker, it kind of sounds funny if you call someone a corker. But if you Google that word and look into dictionary, it's actually an amazing word. It refers to an outstanding or amazing person or thing. And I started thinking, that really is all of you out there, because I think you're all outstanding and amazing. And so I'm not saying that's what we're going to call you, but I'm saying that could be something that you end up calling yourselves or whatever. Maybe it's too early even to talk about that, but it's kind of fun to refer to people who are enjoying this show. And I thought corker would be kind of a fun thing. And I think it's an English word too. It might mean something else in England. We'll have to refer to our official English dialect coach, which happens to be married to Stacy, Chris. So Stacy, you can ask Chris if that means something different in, say, England or Scotland or maybe even Australia, if someone knows. But we're going to kind of keep that in the ether right now and see if that might be something that we want to do with t-shirts and that kind of stuff. But anyway, so thank you very much to the fans who were out there who kind of came up to us, and even the new people that we met, the new friends that we met. It was really cool interacting with you. And I have to tell you about one of the things that I don't actually have with me. Maybe one of you guys can get that for me. About 2 weeks ago, we were approached, well, or actually a friend of mine said, hey, you should talk about this product and see how you can utilize it to do what you're doing and maybe interact with the audience and stuff. So this product that she sent me, it's called Lifeprint. So look that up online. See what it's all about. It's on Facebook. And if you see me, I'm going to have it. So this little printer that you see right here, I'm holding, it's tiny. It's actually a printer that will print pictures from your phone. And we had a lot of fun with this in Fairplay this weekend. So basically the idea is this little printer is you'll take a picture on your phone. I don't want to give too much away because you kind of have to look at it or find me and we'll do it live. But you take a picture, you print it out, and then it's just this little 2x3, and they also make a bigger size. I think it's like 3x4. So there's a bigger size, and we're using the smaller size. It's easier to carry. And you give the picture to the person. It's like a Polaroid. So people loved it. So we take pictures of them, cheers and whatever, gave it to them. The cool thing is though, when you take your camera, so pretend this is my camera or my phone, because my phone's being used right now for a broadcast, but you take your phone and you hold it up to this picture and the picture comes to life. It's like AI. It's amazing. Or augmented reality, AR. It's awesome how it comes to life and there's motion in it. And it's really cool when you're out and about and people are drinking. I got to tell you that. Some of the faces we saw when people saw what happened, they're like, wow, it's like magic. It's like we're at Hogwarts or something. So if you want to see how it works, go to Facebook and go to my Kilt Cork page and look at the little video that I put up there on how this thing works. But I just really wanted to give a shout out to Lifeprint because they apparently believe in what I'm doing and they thought enough of it that they wanted to send this to me. And I really want to thank them. They're a local company out of El Dorado Hills. And I know these things are going to be on everybody's Christmas list this year because they're outstanding. Lifeprint. So it's lifeprintphotos.com and it's also at Lifeprint. I know it sounds like a commercial. They didn't actually pay me to say that, but I just wanted you guys to know it's such a cool thing. And when we're out there in Fairplay or we're out there in Amador or we're out there in El Dorado County or anywhere else, and you run into us, we're going to be playing with it because it's just so cool. So kind of keep that in mind. I want to welcome you guys to the show. If I haven't yet, my name is Russ Reyes from Kilt Cork, and I'm glad you're here with us tonight on episode 4. Before we go on to other things, I just wanted to throw out there, if you have any questions about El Dorado County, Amador County, places to go, wineries to see, breweries to drink at, where to stay, anything you can think of, I hope I have the answer, but I'd love to at least give it a shot and try and answer your questions about this place and kind of what we're all about, the things there are to do here. It is fall, and I think last week we talked a little bit about Apple Hill season coming up. I'm hoping that we're going to be doing a live broadcast from one of the wineries or one of the ranches up there soon, within the next couple of weeks, so we can talk about that some more. But that's certainly something that's on people's radar. With fall here, skiing season's just around the corner, assuming we're getting some snow up here. And that's one of the things that we're thinking of doing, which is actually, I'm going to try to learn to snowboard this year, I think, depending on if I have better insurance or not. But the idea is that I've always wanted to snowboard. I don't know how. I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun to snowboard in a kilt. I'll just put that out there. So I can't wait for winter to come around. Anyways, again, I'm Russ from Kilt Cork, and I'm glad you guys are joining me tonight on our episode 4. This is really epic. I'm so happy that we're already on episode 4. There's a lot more to talk about, a lot more to do, but we'll continue with what we're talking about tonight. And there's some festivals coming up that I really think you guys should know about. Just like last week, we talked about the Zinfest, and we also talked about this Winederlust, which is coming up. And then next week, there's a big festival coming up. And then in a month, there's a big festival. So we're always going to be talking about these things because it's a great way for you, the people who love this area, or maybe you're watching from out of this area, to come and stay and see our culture here, see our wine culture, drink some wine, eat some food, and really immerse yourself in these things. So definitely look out for these. This segment of our show is going to be pretty cool. So the first one I want to talk about is coming up Saturday, and that is Winederlust. So Winederlust, I don't have a graphic to show you as much as this little card, which is cool. It's by the El Dorado Winery Association, and they put on a few different festivals a year, just like Amador and all the other ones. But Winederlust is kind of unique in that it's going to be on the river. So it's at Henningsen Lotus Park, which is here in El Dorado County, by Coloma. And Coloma, if you've kind of been following me, that's where Gold Discovery was. It's a cool little historic park in itself. But the river, American River, goes by there, and that's where they discovered gold back in 1849. So the American River passes Henningsen Lotus Park, and that's where this event's going to be. So I think it's 11 to 4. Is that what it is? 12 to 5. So it's 12 to 5. And the cool thing is I've got tickets to give away. So tickets are like $28, and you can certainly buy them, or you can get them at the door for $33, or you can comment on either Instagram or Facebook Live. And I've got 2 sets of tickets here to give away. I think what you should comment on, though, is the first 2 people, I should say the first person on Facebook and the first person on Instagram that's going to win these tickets. If you can remember back to a couple of episodes ago, what did I say were my 2 favorite varietals from this region? I gave you 2 of them, and you just have to tell me one. So tell me one, first one on Facebook, first one on Instagram, and you have tickets to Winederlust this weekend. So what's Winederlust? What is it? What's happening? Well, there's going to be about, I don't know, there's a dozen or so wineries that are going to be out there pouring. There's going to be some breweries. There's going to be music. There's going to be artists. And of course, the live music lineup is going to be awesome. They've got a band called Marigold. They've also got a band called, Cherry Bomb. So it's a John Cougar Mellencamp cover band, and they rock. So not only are you going to have great music, but you're going to have some great food. You can certainly buy more tickets out there to get more wine or more beer, and just enjoy a day on the river or in the park by the river. So that's Winederlust, and that's coming up this weekend. And that, again, is put on by the El Dorado Winery Association, which, thank you, by the way. They've been a huge supporter of this, and I'm really excited that we're in this area because this wine region is just growing, and I'm really happy that we can be a part of that. So Winederlust is the first one. The next one that's coming up in 2 weeks is the Barbera Festival. So the Barbera Festival is going to be down at the Tierra de Oro / Montevina winery, and that's in Amador. And that's Barbera Festival's in Amador. It's an Amador production, and they've got over 70 wineries from all over California. All the wine regions in California are going to be going to the Barbera Festival to pour you Barbera. This is not Barbera. I'll give you a hint if you haven't answered yet. One of these grapes that I mentioned at the beginning of the show is one of my favorite varietals. So I'm only going to say that, and then you guys have to figure that out. But the Barbera Festival, I went to the first year and it was just overwhelming. There's so much Barbera. And if you're a Barbera fan, you really got to get out there. But there's going to be over 70 wineries. There's chefs from all over that are going to be preparing some gourmet foods for you to taste. I think there's 7 chefs. There's over 30 different artisans out there that are going to be showing their stuff off and kind of selling their wares, all kinds of crafts. And there's going to be live music. And from what I understand this year, hey, Stacy, I'm going to take a break here. It looks like I'm seeing some people come in and saying hi. Definitely want to say hi to Stacy and to Tanya. There's some cool people on here, Mick, Jennifer, Mike, and Beverly. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm talking about some festivals right now that you guys probably would like to go to, with the Winederlust coming up this weekend and Barbera Festival coming up next weekend. But I was going to tell you about the cool thing that Barbera Festival has this year, which is kind of important to people like me who are going to the festival to kind of talk about it. They've got Wi-Fi. So there'll be Wi-Fi internet this year, which will help anybody who's out there share their experience right away. And again, that's exciting. I'm not sure Winederlust is going to have that. I've been out to that park and I know I have AT&T, nothing bad about AT&T, but there's certain parts of this county where it just doesn't work. And we just can't do live broadcast from that part of the county. So I'm not sure if Winederlust has that, but Barbera Festival for sure will have it. And I think that's really cool so that we can share our experiences and show off kind of what we're drinking. Down there. So I'm kind of getting close to the end of the time here. And again, I want to thank you guys for joining me. But I do want to talk about one more event because it's kind of important because it's our event. It's a Kilt Cork event. And that is our house party takeover that we're going to be doing on September 24th. It's a Monday night. And we are going to be looking for someone out there in our fandom, Corkers, one of you Corkers out there. I see you guys are already starting to use that word. So if you guys want to have this party at your house, all you have to do is comment on the actual video that we posted saying, hey, it's time to comment, time to open up and you're eligible to win this contest either on Instagram or Facebook. And we're going to draw your name. And if we draw your name, we're going to be coming to your house and we're going to be there on a Monday night because there will be a football game on that Monday night by a big league of football players, which we can't really say because we didn't pay them to, that entity. There's a lot of criticism, good and bad about it. And there's also a lot of good. They do a lot of good, but you can't use their name like live or print or anything because they'll come after you. So I'm not going to use their name, but you guys know who my favorite team is. I kind of have a little shout out to them in the background here. So, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I can't help it. I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan my whole life. Unfortunately, they're not playing that Monday night. So I might just have to have a party at your house on a Monday night that the Cowboys are playing just so we can do that. But unfortunately, this one is not the night. So Monday night, the 24th, we're going to be bringing Jill Osher from 1850 Winery. She's also the woman behind Mediterranean that just opened up, but she's been gracious enough to say, hey, I want to go to this because she's a huge football fan. So shout out to Jill Osher. She's going to be helping us with that. And we're also going to be bringing Solid Ground Brewing Company from Diamond Springs. They're going to be bringing some beer along. Actually, I'm going to be bringing the beer along and they're going to be kind of sending it with me. Unfortunately, they're busy that night, but still amazing beer, great people out there, love them. And they're really supporting this too. So shout out to Solid Ground Brewing, shout out to 1850. And you guys have to get on that, join up as soon as you can so that we pick the name on the 17th of September. And I think that's really about it. That's all I really have to talk about. I think I've been talking for a long time. Feels like it, but it's always fun. I love this. I love interacting with you guys out there, you Corkers out there. And I think that we're excited for next week's show. Do I have any winners? Does anyone, do we get some winners for our tickets? Because I want to make sure I we haven't got the answers yet. So you guys, there's still time. I'm not going to shut this off until probably tomorrow, until we get some people that have the right answer. So again, my 2 favorite varietals. I had a bottle of Mediterranean that I was drinking. Actually, I pulled that bottle out from Seamus's Kilt. That bottle, that wine varietal is one of my favorite varietals. And the second favorite varietal might be involved with one of the festivals I was talking about tonight. So I just gave you guys some major hints. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. Please share. It really helps if you guys share and talk to people about this, because again, we're just doing it for you guys. We're doing it so people know about this region, know about the wines, know about the cool stuff that's happening. And again, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope to see you again next week. And if you're out and about this weekend in the wine country or anywhere else in this beautiful region and you see me, say hi, and we'll get your picture taken together, cheersing, that kind of stuff. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. Cheers. I'm Russ from Kilt Cork. You guys have a great weekend.